Good evening, folks. Good afternoon. I have a wonderful little motor here. It's a 2 horsepower Evinrude. It's a 1977 model. It's a E2ROEUD is the model number. The owner gave it to me and said there's trouble with the carburetor. The only problem is on these motors you've got to pull everything to pieces. This little motor, it's really running beautiful. I've just started it up there. It's pumping water. As you can see there, it's pumping water really well. It's a direct drive motor, this one, and I'll just slow it right down. She's slowed right down to practically nothing there, and she's running quite smooth. She won't stall out at that. She'll just keep going like that. But she does rev up to a good speed also. She will power up quite well. This little motor, they're only meant to take you from shore, like from a dock or a ramp, to a larger boat, like a sailing boat or something like that. They're just like a tender, just a small motor to run a tender vessel. That's all they are. That's all they were built for. A lightweight motor, got power, enough power just to get you to power up a tender vessel. My name's Kevin. I call myself Kev's Outboard Repairs on YouTube. I call myself a OMC expert of some degree. I'm a member of Old Johnson and Evinrude help and discussion group on Facebook, which I'm a top contributor. I've never worked on this model before. I'm familiar with 4 horsepower. I'm very familiar with 6 horsepower, and I sort of state that I'm a real expert on 6 horsepower. I have worked on 9.9, 9.5 and 15 horsepower. I've done 25 horsepower, quite familiar with them, and I've worked on 70 horsepower. I mainly just work on small outboards. And anyway, getting back to the main story here, I had to pull everything to pieces. In doing that, I realised that the recoil starter here, I had to take this top panel off here, this top panel, and all this other part here. There's 6 to 8 bolts either side, and that pulls the whole lot apart. To take the top part off, there's two bolts at the front here on either side, and the middle bolts at the side. That takes the whole top off. I did notice that the rope here, that's got I fitted a new rope to it. It's really a nightmare to replace the ropes on these ones, and the spring comes out, the spring flies out and explodes, and you have a terrible trouble in trying to refit it. I did refit this one, but I went to YouTube. There's an American man on there, he calls himself Brandon's Garage, and he did a video on these motors on how to replace the start cord and how to refit the spring and everything. It's a very hard process. If you're not bored, You can look up Brandon's garage, how to overhaul these recoil starters. He explains everything there. When I was winding the spring in, the only way I could do it was to stop periodically and put the coil spring in the retaining plate in a vise till I could get to my strength would come back, and also the strength to come back into my hands. At my age I have got arthritis already, so I found that very hard, but I think I clamped it in the vise about 3 times and winding it back in. So it was a terrible process. Inside these recoil starters here, being a 77 model and considerable age, the grease inside the starter, it becomes like glue, and it's really hard. Fortunately, the spring in here is still in good condition, so I would be in a lot of trouble trying to get a spring for one of these. I think I'd have some trouble. Unfortunately, the spring is good. It's all back. It's very smooth, as Brandon said how to do it. The compression is very good on this little motor. I found it at 120. It's only a single cylinder, this motor. While I was at it, I thought, I've got everything pulled apart. I'll have a look at the ignition. Someone's had a look at the magneto. I cleaned and reset the points, and I found out the ignition coil is only, because it's single cylinder, it's only got one coil. The coil has cracked before, but someone has professionally repaired it. So it was producing spark before, but I've reset everything now, and it's producing a very blue spark. This motor, it starts easy. You pull the choke out, it just starts so crisp, so wonderful. It idles right down. A man by the name of Ben Dittmar, he's done a lot of videos on YouTube. He called himself the Chrysler Outboard guy, and he just loves outboards that will just idle down to practically nothing. He loves that. So I'm sure Ben would love that. So yeah, it's really something. But a motor of this quality hasn't had that much use, with 120 psi and everything cleaned out. So the magneto's really good. The carburetor, I cleaned that out. I found out that there's, I think there's about 5 small ports on this one that lead down into the throat of the carburetor. They were all clogged. There's an aluminium disc that you have to take out. I took that out and I cleaned all the fine ports out with wire. So that's all good now. It goes down to practically nothing without stalling. So that's great. She's a direct drive motor. She's actually got 2 settings on this carburetor because it's an early model. It's got a high-speed mixture and a low-speed mixture. So you set the high-speed mixture first and then set the idle. So this motor hasn't run for some time, so it's a little bit smoky at the moment. I've got it running on a 25:1 oil mixture at the moment, and I believe using at least 91 octane and no ethanol in these motors. So just for the time being, I believe you can run these on 50:1. Personally, I like to run all my OMC motors on 40 to 1. Some people approve of it, a lot of people frown on that, but it's up to the individual. So my motors, I can run them on whatever I like. So I like the 40 or at least 45. I like to give them a little bit more lubricant than the 50 to 1 personally. But this one hasn't run along for a long time, so I'm running it temporarily on 25 to 1. It's a lovely motor. I'll just stop it. She'll go right down. Look at that, practically right down to nothing. How good is that? In a small boat, that will still move you along, you know. It will still move you along. So how great is that, eh? That's really good. When everything is spot on, a motor will get down to that idle speed. So it's really good. I'm really tickled pink with this motor. So I'll stop it there. Now we'll restart it again. Just a short pull. These recoil starters, they don't like being pulled right out. They don't like a savage pull. But this motor is so good. With 120 psi, it's just a slight pull. Boom, she's away. So a lovely motor. I changed the spark plug on this motor also, and after I did get it running, after cleaning the carburetor and everything, I found out it wasn't pumping water. I pulled the gearbox off, the small gearbox, pulled the gearbox off, and I found that the impeller was pretty hadder. So I did replace that, put everything back together. I drained the gear oil, put fresh gear oil in it. I found the gear oil, apparently whoever's looked at this before, it never occurred to them to change the gear oil. It was black. So I've drained it all out, the gear oil, and refilled it. So she's got a new impeller at the moment. I've flushed the small tube coming up from the impeller, up from the water pump into the power head. I flushed that right out, and as soon as I put the gearbox back on, she started pumping water miraculously. They don't, I don't know if you can see, but they don't pump a lot of water, but that's pumping a fair bit there. She's not heating up, she's just warm. So that's great, and she can run for some time. She's no sign of overheating, nothing like that. This has been an experience to me. I've never worked on this particular motor before. It's a simple motor, but unfortunately when you do the carburetor or anything, the whole lot is got to come to pieces, and that's the unfortunate part. But it's all good now. This motor, properly cared for, this motor will run for years and years. So it's a 1977 model, a great little motor in great condition, and I'm tickled pink with this motor, honestly. You know, if I was a cat, I think I'd lick myself about 5 times. I'm overjoyed with the way this is going. So she's a good motor. She's got power there. She's got power. She's got heaps of power. And heaps of thrust there. That's really that's heaps of thrust. That'll push you along. That'll push you out to a sailing boat in the tender. I can tell you that. And even on slow speed, that will still move you along. So a great little motor, and a great result for Kev's Outboard repairs. So signing off. I'm sorry if I bored you a fair bit, but there's been a fair bit in this little outboard to restore it as well as what's been done. So I'll sign off for now, and thanks for watching.